Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel on this very special day, Tuesday, November the 5th, 2024, Election Day in the United States. Now, I want to emphasize here that as we cover the projections and the markets, the betting markets, the polling, that, of course, we will end up knowing what's actually going to happen at the end of the evening. The polling here in Georgia ends at 7 p.m. Polling in Pennsylvania ends at 8 p.m. These will be very good indicators, or at least in my opinion, from our standpoint here on the East Coast, because if Donald Trump wins PA in the evening, then it's pretty much going to be more of a wrap, more of a there really won't be much left for Kamala Harris. So what you're going to see today is a lot of Democrat sort of surges. You're going to see the media be as positive as they can towards Democrats across your mainstream media, legacy media outlets. We could even see them maybe slow things down, delay tactics after delay tactics, especially if in the Rust Belt, for example. As I said, I am not anticipating Kamala to win all three of the Rust Belts. As a matter of fact, we're going to look at some of these in a minute, that Wisconsin is still in play, because today is the important and significant day across the United States. And as you can see here from the election 2024 coverage from live now from Fox, this is Cobb County here in Georgia, where I live. There are, of course, lots of eyes here on the state of Georgia. But, of course, as of right now, nothing's really going on, because it is, as of this recording right now, it is 12:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we changed our clocks back, and now we are on Standard Time. So right now in Georgia may be the first results we get for election night, because, as I said, our polls close at 7 o'clock tonight. The polls for Pennsylvania do not close until 8 o'clock. So I would like to see some results out of both Georgia and Pennsylvania. I think these will be very good indicators. So I would anticipate the media taking their time, being slow. We're seeing some more video here out of Georgia. And I haven't had a chance to see the local news as of yet. But why Georgia is critical? Yes, of course it's critical. All of the states are going to be essentially critical. But yeah, Georgia is going to play a huge factor. There is a big Democratic shift. We're hearing that black turnout isn't as high. But again, like I said, we'll find out today. Maybe people are going to wait till later today or later this evening. They're showing results here out of Fox 5 Atlanta. So some of the shots here. Now, earlier we saw out of Cobb County. I don't know where these shots are coming from right now. But so as of this very moment, we see from Real Clear Politics that Harris is up by 0.1 in the national. This would be the popular vote. We do not use the popular vote in the United States to determine our elections. So all of you guys watching across the great Atlantic Ocean and maybe the Pacific Ocean, depending on where you are, of course. We do not use the popular vote in the United States. We use the Electoral College, which has been hotly contested since the 1800s. As far as, does that just go to the fourth? Is that it? Okay, so the fourth, that's it. So 48.7, 48.6, so very close. And as I've always said here on the BuzWeaver channel, when they show Democrats winning, it usually means that you need to subtract a few points from it. But again, I don't want to skew anyone's thoughts. I don't want to skew anyone's opinions, because the results today are going to be the results today, and that's going to be the result. So right now we have Wisconsin 0.4 and Michigan 0.5 and Pennsylvania 0.4 for Trump. So if this holds out, if these polls hold out, which they are going to change, because things could be dramatically improved for Trump, or they could be amazingly a little bitly improved for Kamala Harris. But we will see, of course, tonight what's going on in the poly market, the live in real time. Right now we're seeing Trump's actually going up quite a bit and Kamala continuing to fall. these are the betting markets. They have him at 61.3, Kamala Harris at 38.9. These are where people are putting their money down. This is where people are putting their money down. It's looking really good for Trump in the betting market, even here. The poly market, again, as we convert it to the map here, 60-40, which is nearly exactly the way Red Eagle Politics called it, as well as the Depressed Ginger. Both of them said we would be looking at a 60-40 in the betting markets on Tuesday, and so far it looks like they have been correct. And, of course, here we see Wisconsin nearly completely in play because, again, with the betting market, it is not obviously going to be an indicator any more so than the polling. But Pennsylvania is still looking good for Donald Trump, and this is going to be a very important, critical area. I think Nevada is going to be, I see some potential shenanigans going on in Nevada where they're saying it's going to take them a week to count our votes. And so that's absurdity. That's absurdity. But I'm going to say we're going to keep a good eye on Nevada because if any shenanigan nonsense is going to happen, it could be there. Also, people are saying some potential things going on in Michigan. But it's an election day. It's very hyperbolic today. It's very hypersensitive, and so we're gonna keep our eyes on it. Predict It has now shifted greatly to Donald Trump, who is down a cent, and so is Kamala Harris. But he is finally back in the lead on Predict It because I think the two whales that made those big contributions or big donations or big bets the other day skewed it just a little, just for the purposes of who knows what. Of course, everyone's trying to do something manipulative. And, of course, 538, the latest polls as of 12:45 a.m. last night. Donald Trump's rally went till 2:35 in the morning in Michigan. So I think Donald Trump has probably had like maybe a couple hours of sleep at most. I think I got about 6 hours myself. So, yeah, hopefully not as fading today as I was fading yesterday. But, yeah, so in the 538, they're showing Harris at 48.1 and Trump at 46.8, which, again, 538 wasn't particularly accurate in 2020 and in the midterms. So, again, we just have to take it into the margins of error for 538. And we've already talked about Georgia. And then here in the latest 17 hours ago from Atlas, the most accurate of all the pollsters that we have seen since 2020, 2022, we're seeing Minnesota 2.8 for Harris and Virginia 5.4. We already knew this. We already knew this about Virginia. Virginia is still really close, though. Today is going to be that day where we really see what is actually going to unfold. But 17 hours ago from Atlas, Arizona is looking good for Trump. Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, which is going to be very important, Nevada. Of course, I still think that they're going to stall and stall and stall. But hopefully not. Hopefully it's going to be so overwhelming. Hopefully the turnout is going to be so good that it's not even going to be anything there. So from Doherty 50 minutes ago, of course, this is GOM results. And the final there is 49.5, 3.3 for Harris in that result. And then we see just now reports to Trump. Do you have any regrets about your campaign, Trump? To use Kamala's expression, I can't think of anything. That's pretty funny. And then Maricopa remains plus 22 today. Florida also R22, so looking really good in these two areas. Let's see what else we have here. Florida GOP now approaching a 1.1 million lead statewide. Cool new buttons. Okay. GOP's election day in Florida is redder than 2020. Democrats are currently competing with MPAs instead of other major parties. So we'll see. Florida here, we have 47.31% here in the Florida election day update as of 11:30. And then Nevada rule surge may offset any hope Dems have in Clark. So again, Nevada, we're going to keep our eye on that. But it's looking like things are going there and going well there in Nevada as we would want to anticipate. Swing state update. Today's odds in PA and Wyoming have increased. Wisconsin have increased. His odds in Arizona now near 80%. Georgia 70%. Odds in Nevada have ticked up or ticked down. So odds have ticked down in Nevada. So, but like I said, early morning as we get going. As of this time now, it's nearly 1 o'clock. It's always going to be a bit of a surge for Democrats. Usually. That's why it's interesting to see the surges here for the GOP and for Republicans, because typically the surge in the mornings or when on election day is usually Democrat until the later evenings. Look at that in Pennsylvania. So big turnout there. Huge line reported in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And I say huge because, where Donald Trump's from there in New York. For some reason, they take HU words and change them into a Y. This was funny. Morning Joe meltdown has already started. I can't play it because he's so hyperbolic in his language that, I don't think YouTube would appreciate some of the craziness they're saying. So, again, remember, this is polling. This is polling. And polling is not always correct. So 538 showing Harris wins. Nate Silver showing Harris wins. The Shizen Desk showing Harris wins. And as we can see here, nearly across the board, Harris winning barely. But it's important to note that the Establishment Uni-party and the media, the legacy media, the extension of the Democrat Party, by no means are going to suggest or imply anything that could give Donald Trump the appearance of him being able to win. And it's funny for us because we can laugh about it, but the concern is going to be that the fragile minds of the left are going to be very, very upset. They're going to say, the TV told me Trump was going to lose. The TV told me Harris was going to win. And this is what I'm seeing here. This is what I'm saying. I'm seeing a narrative being created here to where when Donald Trump wins, the left can blame the polling. They can blame somebody. They can have an outlet for their rage and their anger. This is why I really want him to win the popular vote as well. Because if he doesn't win the popular vote, which I'm not, I saw it's Harris plus 1.1. I want him to be as close as possible in that because that's going to be their point of contention. That's going to be their complaint that, the people were disenfranchised. The Electoral College disenfranchises the populace and this, that, and the other. It's never going to end. Red Eagle Politics, our good buddy from Red Eagle here. We're possibly headed for a redder election in Florida than we had in 2022. Insane Arizona as well. So really good out of Florida, Arizona. I'm not even Florida. I'm not even remotely concerned about Florida. That is, that's going to be a complete Trump win right there. So not even concerned about that. Rules for election night. You remember, don't take exit polls as gospel, particularly Edison, CNN, whether they look good or bad. They're usually wrong, and they update as the night goes on and weeks after. Don't panic when Ohio or Kansas starts to come in blue, or celebrate too much when Virginia starts to come in red. Those are simply mirages. Mirages based on which type of votes are usually counted first. So early mail versus election day. Florida is not representative of the nation anymore. So if Trump vastly outperforms exceptions there, it won't mean much for the rest. For the Rust Belt, of course, it won't mean anything really for other states because, it's Florida. Seems like Harris will win the Guam straw poll. The just 3 points, 49-46. But again, that's polling, so not a big deal. Republicans keep expanding their margins in Arizona in both the early vote and late mail drop-offs, as well as election day so far. You'll hear lots of anecdotes today from both sides. The officially released date is more telling. Of course, the voting today will also be very telling. And, of course, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you're following me on Twitter, or X, as it were. You guys can follow me there, as I've posted quite frequently here. And I thought this was interesting. According to Democrats, walls don't work. Well, unless they're in D.C. to protect the Establishment Uni-party. So we see a bunch of walls and barriers and things being set up there in D.C. For anticipation of what could happen. We have Election Wizard here. Election Day special coverage from the Wizard, looking at the remaining votes outstanding in Clark as of this morning. The partisan breakdown for them are as follows. Jim, 29, others, 46, and GOP, 2453, which is typical in the beginning of the day. Here's Donald Trump. Trump makes a joke. Republicans should stay in line. Democrats may go home if they wish. Of course, got to be very careful with what you say in that regard. But Trump's looking good. Like I said, his rally went on in Michigan last night till 2:35 a.m. Absolutely extraordinary. Yeah, that was a big night for Donald Trump as he did his marathon rallies 4 in one day. So Arizona early voting update. So Republicans are up by 218,000 in early voting in Arizona, which is very unusual, but we'll take it because that is amazingly good. And the Guam update again. I don't know why it's so focusing because Guam. A poll is a poll, and I'm thinking of the country too of Guam as well, which is they can only vote in our primary, by the way, in case anyone's curious about Puerto Rico, Guam, Virgin Islands, those sorts of things, and U.S. territories. They can only vote in a primary and not the general. Today is the general, of course. Empty PwC polling stations are terrible signs for Democrats. So very interesting to see there. We'll just scroll through here with some lines that we have seen earlier today. That's out of Bucks, right? No, this is out of PA here. I thought it was Bucks County. Gettysburg rules, solid red, almost all male. Men are showing up, which they need to in Pennsylvania because the metrics were if men showed up in PA, then, that was going to be the deal. So here's a Florida election day vote. Yeah, I'm not worried about Florida in any way, shape, or form. My main concerns are going to be right here in the Rust Belt. And I'm going to say be encouraged if we see PA flip to Trump. That may be the earliest signs that we see. Also be encouraged if my state of Georgia also is picked. Now, remember, it's also important to remember, too, that the media doesn't pick the election. All right? They don't determine the election. They just determine what they think the outcome is going to be. All right? So don't get too excited about that. As a matter of fact, let me go over here real quick to the BuzWeaver archives. Real quick here because there's something very important I wanted to show you guys if I can find it. Yeah, these are the key dates. This is very important. So it's kind of the breakdown of the dates. So, of course, today is Election Day. All right, enough with all that. Over the next few weeks, election officials will always tell you that results reported on election night are unofficial. That's correct. Over the next few weeks, they'll confirm those tallies, add in provisional ballots and ballots from overseas, and deal with any recounts, getting to the official results by both local state certification deadlines. So that's what's going to be interesting here about Georgia. We saw Gabriel Sterling say out of Georgia that we're probably not going to see the overseas ballots. That would be for our military and so forth, absentee ballots, officially counted until Friday. But like I said, as they say here, the results reported on election night are unofficial. They are not the official count. So just keep that in mind. So on December the 11th, appointing of electors, this is the key deadline. It's when a state's executive has to certify the state's presidential elections. The governor is a state's default executive unless state law ahead of time designates another official. So that's what's going to happen on December the 11th. And then on the 17th, the meeting of electors, the appointed presidential electors from each state will meet in their state capitals to cast their official votes for the candidate who won their state's votes. So that's on December the 20th. And then at Christmas, the arrival of the electoral votes. The president of the Senate and the National Archivist must receive the electoral certification or certificates of each state by the fourth Wednesday in December. And then January 3rd, the swearing in of the new Congress. And then January 6th, of course, everyone knows this date now and probably will always remember it, the counting of the electoral votes in Congress. And then January the 20th is Inauguration Day. So wanted to point out those very key and important dates to everybody. But I hope everybody's doing well. I'm a little faded, 6 hours of sleep. I'm hanging in there, trying to get things done, trying to get this information out to you guys. And I am cautiously optimistic at this point that things will end up in favor for Donald Trump. This was our final look at the map potential, just the potential for us here from the BuzWeaver channel, 287 Republican, 251 Democrats. I think that the GOP is going to do well both in the House and the Senate. The governor race is going to be pretty much even. So I don't see a lot going on with the governor race. Republicans will do well. The Democrats will do well in their respected states, as to be predicted. So nothing major going on with gubernatorial races. And then, of course, I think the GOP is looking good both in the House and the Senate. And then, of course, at the end of the day, it's going to be the election that we have been waiting for, many of us here on the BuzWeaver channel, for quite some time. It is here. I welcome your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What's going on in your states? Did you vote today? If you voted today, let me know down below. And, of course, I do have some little funny polling on my channel there. Let me go over there real quick. Let me jump over here to the official BuzWeaver channel link. And you see here in community post, I have some AI-generated images. Yeah, I generated those with the AI on Grok on Twitter. I thought it was kind of funny, and I made this kind of Roman Centurion one for Trump, too. And I asked, do you think Trump will win the Electoral College? Will he win the Electoral College and popular vote? Or will he get both and the GOP wins the House and the Senate? Total domination. So, we'll see if it ends up being that. I would love for Trump to also win the Electoral College, but you guys have already voted. We got 27 people that have already voted on the BuzWeaver channel. Thank you guys for stopping by the community tab. There's also one on Odyssey, but I've not used it. But I have been manually uploading to Odyssey now because there is no longer migration from YouTube. YouTube has been really weird lately. But I think after this election, should Donald Trump win, I think we're going to see a lot of the social media outlets, the mainstream ones, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Meta, as it were, maybe relax a little bit of their stuff, or maybe they'll grind it down. Who knows? But Poly Market, yeah. So going to be an interesting day, guys. Thank you so much for your continued support these last few years. For everybody who have recently subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support, for everything you guys have done. And, of course, all of New Tech, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, you guys have been amazing. And, of course, now here on YouTube, for all of you guys here on YouTube, you should be seeing the channel icon appearing right here on the right side of the screen. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as select notifications that we know there's content here on the channel. How about that? Am I rehearsed on that or not? And, all right, guys, we're going to see it. What's going to happen? I'll see all of you guys in the next video.